watching on the replay, hello as well. So we're going to dive straight into July's full moon circle. And so the beauty of a full moon ceremony is really we're worshipping and celebrating life. We're celebrating the feminine aspect. The feminine archetype is very much known as a force for creation and destruction. So traditionally and in ancient times, we can look back at cultures always using the moon to really harvest, to really go inwards, to gather deep insights, wisdom, to connect to other realms, other intelligent life forms. It's a really potent time for letting go, for shedding. So it's very much about the release energy. So the moon at the moment is in the sign of Aquarius, which is very much connected to innovation, to freedom. So this is very much linked to freedom to live the lives we want to, freedom to feel safe, freedom to use your voice. So it's really power to the people. And so we'll see again more and more come up about the abuse of power and how we abuse our own power, whether we're over dominant, whether we are totally the opposite and don't step into our power. So this is a time to really question, okay, where am I speaking up for myself? Am I speaking up for myself? What makes me unique and different? And how am I going to use that to express myself freely? So freedom comes in different forms. The ability to express yourself through your clothes, through your lifestyle, through your communication with others, but we're also unique. So really take this time to explore, where do I feel trapped in my life, my relationships, or with my health? Where do I feel free, mentally, emotionally, physically? So we're going to dive a bit deeper into that. So a reminder, a little bit about the moon, some background. So remember, the moon is very powerful and impacts the tidal waves. And we have what's known as the tidal force. So the moon's gravitational pull creates a tidal force. And this causes the earth and its water to bulge out to the side closest to the moon and also the side furthest from the moon. And so we are fully aware that the moon affects water. It affects our tides. And our composition is mainly water. So of course it's going to impact us as well. We are predominantly made up of water. Now, I was very attuned to this as a child. And if you're sensitive, you're aware, you feel different on the new moons and the full moons. You feel the fluctuations. So it's like the tides, the water, there's a gravitational pull. You're impacted as well, because you are the water element, predominantly water element. So the moon impacts water. That's why we understand it impacts the tidal waves, but it also impacts the tidal waves in us. And this is our emotions, our feelings. And sometimes you can feel really out to sea. So on a full moon, what happens is, because it's the culmination point, our emotions come up to the surface. So it's really like that bulging out. So the emotions want to burst out. So we do have an expansion and opening where the subconscious mind purges, the emotions start to purge, so they rise up. So you can feel extremely triggered at these times because the emotions are high. So watch for yourself feeling triggered, or watch how you react to others, and know that other people are going to feel triggered. And the more you master the ability to stay present, stay vigilant around these times, in particular the full moon, stay vigilant. Because if you can stay vigilant, you can catch these fluctuations and ride the waves and understand on a full moon, the subconscious mind is purging. So this is the darkness. This is the shadow side. But we can't have light without the dark. So we have to open up. The only reason why we see darkness as darkness is because we're afraid of it. We think it's bad or wrong. We've judged it. And the shadow side of ourselves is only that part of us that we've trapped. The energy has become trapped in the physical body. The energy is trapped and it creates disease. That's why it's darkness. But if we totally allowed it to be present and allow it to move through us, it's not darkness. It's just the part of us that got shut down, ignored, hidden away, thought it was bad or wrong or faulty. So it needs to come up. And that's how we have transformation. So this is also the point for really planting, not planting seeds. The new moons is planting seeds, but looking at the seeds you planted. And as it's the culmination point, which seeds are really flourishing and what is dying away, what didn't bloom, what didn't flourish, what didn't ripen. And so that's where we can look at, okay, was that intentional? Was that because I didn't focus, give it my attention, didn't nurture it, didn't feed it, didn't give it my love? And what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through a bit more information about this current new moon. And then we're going to look at some journal prompts. So have some reflection time for you to just use that time to just go inwards, reflect, and go through my journal prompts. And then we're going to dive straight into the 7 keys meditation. So the 7 keys meditation is really there to allow the unconsciousness to come up through the cellular body. So any trauma, any ancestral wounds, any unconscious thoughts and belief systems. So in particular, the pain body, we want it to start to rise up to the surface. And this is the most potent time for it to really rise up and be cleared. So it's just our presence that's needed to allow it to move through. Okay, so this is also one of the times where we become much more conscious of our psychic abilities as well, our intuitive abilities. So watch out for that as well, because you're going to pick up on energies much more powerfully. And if you really want to connect deeper to your psychic senses, your spirit guides, etc., this is a really great time to go into meditation and contemplation for that, because we call it the veil. The veil is thinner between the worlds. So you can penetrate that veil much more easily. And there's nothing to fear there, at all. Okay, so the sources I use to get information about what's happening astrologically are Rising Women, Braca Goldsmith, and Molly McCord. So they are fabulous astrologers. And then I check in with them on a monthly basis to find out what's happening on the new moon, the full moon, just so I can be more conscious and plan. And it also helps me set an intention for the month, because then I'm more aware of what the collective energy is doing. And so I can ride with the collective energies rather than just stay singular in me and what I'm doing, which is like a wave trying to go against the ocean. So we want to move with the ocean. So it's really sensible to know what the energies are doing out there without getting caught up in the fear, etc. So I'm going to read out to you a little bit about what I found out. So you might want to close the eyes, relax, or just listen to me as I read this out. So we also have Venus moving into Virgo, and Virgo is the planet of love, beauty, harmony, and connection. And this is where she'll remain for just less than a month. Now, Venus really connects us to the nature, to love, the part of you that seeks to connect with what and who you love. So I'll say that again. So Venus, that love nature, the part of you that seeks deeply to connect with what and who you love. Because of course, when we're connected to what and who we love, and we're really clear and bringing our attention to that, it increases our vibration. It raises our frequency. And this is so healing for our minds. It's healing for our bodies. We're drawing that vibration of love through our whole energy field. And don't forget how powerful that is to heal mental, emotional distress, disharmony. Very powerful. Now, the Venus archetype also governs our quest for beauty, true connection, and peace and harmony. And she really wants to dismantle the walls and the barriers that we put up against receiving love and giving love. So she's a real gentle force, but powerful feminine force. And so when I talk about the divine feminine, I don't mean male and female. It's not the female, it's feminine energy. And men have feminine energy. Women have masculine energy. We have the feminine and the masculine within us. So this isn't just women. This is the feminine energy in all of us. And many of us are out of balance with the feminine and masculine. Some of us more feminine, some of us more masculine. But in fact, when we feel whole and complete, we embody the feminine and masculine, and they're in union. So the mind, body, soul, which is what yoga teaches us, the mind, body, soul comes into union because the masculine and feminine with you are no longer in conflict. So your heart is feminine, your mind is masculine. When they come into union, we have health, well-being, balance, clarity. So your relationships around you and in your past are karmic seeds to show you where you need to navigate and come into balance. So this could be your siblings, your brothers, your sisters, it could be your parents, it could be your lover, your partner, but they are always highlighting where you're out of balance and where you're in balance. And as you shift and change your dynamic and come more into balance, you help them heal. They'll come into their balance. So the more we do on ourselves, the more our energy influences them. So it's worth asking yourself, what role do I mainly play? The masculine or the feminine? And how can I bring that into a healthy balance between the two? Because the reason why you'll be out of balance is because of a childhood wound. So if you had a childhood wound, let's say being masculine, you would play down your masculine energy. You would see it's weak and not powerful, which means you may go really quiet and timid and let others be more dominating, or you might over control and try and dominate to compensate. Okay, so this archetype also guides you to a greater understanding of what it truly means to invest in yourself and others. And again, always coming into balance with this. Am I over investing in somebody else or everybody else rather than me? Or am I only investing in myself and not investing in those around me, not investing in community? Have I closed myself off? Have I shut myself? So when we're truly investing in ourselves and others, that means we're investing further and further out. We realize it's not just about investing in me. Yes, that's a priority, but when we invest in me, we invest in those close to us. We also together then invest in community and the wider world And this is where we expand and grow and feel more and more free and liberated. So the Aquarius energy I spoke about earlier, again, it's that freedom, freedom, freedom. And this all gives us more freedom. So take time to explore, what does it truly mean to invest in myself and others? What does that truly mean to me? Now, the Earth Priestess, again, from Venus archetype, asks for dedication to your mind, your body, and all those parts to you that allow you to love and connect as your best self. So if your body isn't in the condition that brings you happiness and joy, you're not going to be able to invest in others. Again, with your mind. Is your mind something that you prioritize, that you condition? Just like you would exercise your body, do you exercise your mind, which is meditation? So how are you looking after your mind and your body? And this Venus in Virgo is also asking us to really tend to the garden of our life. So tend to the garden of your heart, as it's the most sacred ground you have. This is where we plant the seeds for manifestation for fifth dimension. This is how we create. We create from here. This is the feminine energy. We send our wishes up to the mind, and the mind goes, hey, how do I action this? What do I do? So when they're in harmony, we plant these seeds from a deeper place. We listen to the heart. We go within. We navigate from this space. And then we surrender it to the mind. And when it's connected, the mind will come up with all sorts of ideas for us, which feel really good. And then the soul directs, because they're both in harmony and alignment. So when we say tend to your garden of life, that means tend to everything. So your relationships, your body, your mind, your home, your finances. So everything deserves loving, patient commitment. So again, take some time to explore, which area of my garden am I not tending to? That really needs some attention. So just a few things to remember for the month ahead. We are working progress. We're all work in progress, trying to find our way home. So we're not here to fix ourselves. We're here to love ourselves into growth and expansion. So imagine yourself as a beautiful flower that wants to bloom. You always want to bloom. If you're still on earth, you're wanting to flourish and bloom. And that it goes for every single one of us. Living the life that we love is really not that far from us. A day-by-day journey of letting go of the old and embracing the new. Breaking out of old patterns relating to loving if we want different results. So the theme of, obviously for Venus is loving. If you want different results, you have to break out your patterns. So take some time to explore, what are the patterns I have in relation to love? And are they bringing me the results that I really want? And a few questions to ask yourself. Where is fantasy yearning to meet reality? So remember, love can never be bought, sold, or controlled. It's our willingness to do the transformative work every day. And that takes commitment to do the inner transformative work. Where am I being called to compassion? to really harness compassion and patience and commit myself to the craft of loving? What areas of my life are seeking everyday dedicated attention? What way can I make space for the everyday routines, rituals that I know will improve my health, my body, my sense of well-being? So again, recap, love and freedom are really key this month. Love and freedom. Remember, your journey of life and love is a process. Be honest, yet patient with yourself, never critical. And take the time to really hone your craft of loving. Who are you holding love back from? Where are there perhaps wounds in your relationship that are suppressed in denial? Where can you have a stronger, more loving connection? Where can you ensure the memories you leave behind are really positive, powerful? And a couple of affirmations you can use this month. I tend to the garden of my heart. I tend to the garden of my heart. And the other one, which I've really enjoyed using, is I am a work in progress. And when we really honor that and remind ourselves, I'm work in progress, we also give others around us freedom to be where they're at without trying to push them ahead. Remembering they're a work in progress. We all are. So we can let each other off the hook. We're going to grow, we're going to evolve. And we can only do that with love, kindness, gentleness, compassion, presence. And this is love. You know, we've been taught by society so much crap about what love is. So really question, what have I been taught about what love is? And what's the illusion? Because love is really the soft, compassion qualities, empathy, the soul qualities, the gentleness, the allowing. And it's through that we really start to grow. You should have a worksheet or a printable. So you can use that worksheet, and I'll go through some of the journal prompts. So if you've got that, you can start journaling now. And I'll go through what the journal prompts are. So what has worked well for me this month? What hasn't worked so well this month? What am I most proud of myself for the last month? In what areas of my life can I heal, offer forgiveness, or find peace with? For this full moon, what am I ready to energetically start releasing? What old story, belief, program am I letting go of? What is my shadow self teaching me this month? So I'll go through some of my answers to that to give you a bit more insight as well. So I put what has worked well for me this month. Honoring my heart, honoring my healing process, honoring time and space for healing and integration, creating ideas for the business that are much more sustainable rather than pushing and pulling all the time. Healthy eating was amazing, with juicing back on track 4 days a week, and using my superfood green juice powders again. 2, what hasn't worked so well this month? So for me, I put what hasn't worked so well this month is being over polite rather than standing up for myself. And that comes from a fear, childhood fear of doing something wrong. So I've always been afraid of doing something wrong and the consequences to that. So I found myself in several situations this month, and it's like, the universe is trying to teach me this lesson. You need to stand up for yourself, Davinda, rather than be over polite. There's never an excuse not to be polite, but you're being over polite to compensate for not standing up for yourself. So what am I most proud of myself for the last month? Being kind to myself and noticing and catching that part of me that's really unkind to me. So that's been very, very, very liberating, me seeing that. In what areas of my life can I heal and offer forgiveness, find peace with? Being overpowered by the masculine energy. So this is a pattern I've always had, feeling overpowered by the masculine. And that doesn't mean just masculine men around me, but also my own masculine energy. I've always allowed my masculine energy to be more dominating and suppress the feminine energy. So it's been really lovely coming into a balance with that and really allowing my masculine and feminine to come into that union. For this full moon, what am I ready to energetically start releasing? Unkindness to myself. So an energy and a mental program I have of very quickly attack myself if I do something wrong or not good enough. So I'm very quick to attack and judge myself. So definitely ready to release that. What old story, belief, program am I letting go of? That it's not safe for me to stand up for myself. And I'm turning that around to a new belief. The world is a safe place for me to show up fully in my authentic power. What is my shadow self teaching me? An open heart needs love and vulnerability. And this together, the love and vulnerability, equals true power and safety. So our dark side, shadow side, always has a message for us, always. It's not actually working against us, it's working for us.